Today, what we're talking about is going viral, the emotions of that, online creation, how emotions relate to different scenarios, having access to information, not having access to information, and trigger warnings. So going viral and gaining followers is usually the dream for individuals seeking financial benefits from gaining attention of an audience. Relating to a broad audience's beliefs and experiences might help resonate relevance to viewers. Relevance to current events or trends might involve creating reaction content to topics with high public interest, or at least relating to a particularly popular community activity. According to a 2023 study about going viral, addressing real issues using generic themes and lacking comedy were shared more often by consumers, which contributes to viral spread. That's by Isabella et al. 2023. Therefore, straightforwardly posting real solutions will likely be shared with others in related or adjacent communities who might benefit from the content. According to an IT scientific journal from 2022, emotionally charged content helps the content become significantly more viral. That's by Nathan et al. 2022. The journal also discusses how emotional aspects found within content and the psychological arousal influences may contribute to determining differences between fake news and real news. That's by Nathan et al. 2022 again. So, how people are mentally and emotionally affected by content might change how they react to content and believe content to be accurate or false based on those emotions. For example, someone who's angry with their partner might go online, social media, and have a skeptical or pessimistic interpretation while viewing content, possibly watching rage bait or content that intentionally causes anger for the viewer engagement monetization, that they put something that people get mad at, kind of troll them a little bit, they type more, and then they get money because they have more viewers and engagement, and people share the content that people hate. Emotions from disasters. Having access to information in various scenarios can impact emotions depending on various factors and based on the encounter type. Different encounter types can have different results. Pictorial information plays a huge role in risk perception through the emotional interpretation of visual content. That's by Zia et al. 2010. Specific emotions such as fear, anger, or regret were discovered to be associated with various action tendencies. That's by Zia et al. 2010 again. Some loss-related emotions might lean toward prevention strategy tendencies, while ethical emotions lead toward aggressive behaviors. That's by Zia et al. 2010. Technical or man-made hazards such as air pollution might lead to stronger emotions compared to natural disasters such as earthquakes. That's by Zia et al. 2010 again. Examples of scenarios are earthquakes, World War II, and water contamination. So some people might learn about an earthquake with indifference until pictures of the disaster's devastation are digitally delivered on social media and news stations that show the immense tragedy that occurred. Younger generations, on the other hand, might not have emotional weight associated with events of World War II, especially if they have not seen any videos or pictures of the losses that would influence an emotional appeal to the tragedy's visual impact on emotions. However, once people view footage and listen to stories from the war, they might feel sadness or anger about the tragedy. Water contamination is another scenario that people might only take seriously once viewing pictures or data that disclose disgusting display of the current water source that they're drinking and go, wow, that's disgusting, and have an emotional reaction to it. Restricting information access for disasters impacts emotions. The restriction of timely, accurate information access during wildfires, the Super Bowl, and heavy legal proceedings might impact people's emotions. During wildfires, cell service, electricity, and other disruptive aspects might prevent gaining life-saving information regarding the fire's movements or if loved ones made it out safely, potentially resulting in feelings of hopelessness, confusion, or fear related to personal livelihood and safety. Now, a completely different subject is for interested football fans. During the Super Bowl, restriction of access to information might lead to fear of missing out. FOMO, or the fear that other people will spoil the game without them seeing it, that their coworker is going to tell them, oh, your team lost or won, and it kind of spoils the game instead of finding out during the moment. The football fans' emotions might lead to feelings of frustration, stress, and anger. Heavy legal proceedings sometimes forces the jury to abstain from online access to prevent bias, online opinions, unofficial case information from people online might come from memes, social media posts, and podcasts. Ideologues online might spin emotional narratives for preconceived agendas that would contaminate the jury's perspective. For example, in the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard case, jury members were instructed not to talk to anyone and not to have any online research. And this is because online platforms were going viral for any hot take or funny perspective that would go viral. So jury members might get contaminated with this information and with these perspectives instead of just looking at the facts that were presented by each side rather than presented by the worldwide whoever. That's the WWW. So jury members might be worried and stressed that they would make a decision that goes against the court of global public opinion, leading to eventual harassment, insults, or other types of cancel culture fallout for not supporting trigger warnings. I was going to discuss how we should consider trigger warnings, but multiple scientific sources are saying they're harmful at worst and trivially helpful at best. Based on collected data, trigger warnings seemingly creates nocebo effects with anxious reactions and consequences. That's by Bruce et al. 2023. The studies are reluctant to recommend trigger warnings because various situations with trigger warnings involve negligible benefits and anxiety-related effects. That's again by Bruce et al. 2023. This study fuels considerations to avoid adding trigger warnings because some individuals might get more anxiety, adding to the pressure or intensity of the situation instead of just seeing the situation without any expectations, or while they're seeing it, they just see it at face value. A different study conducted 6 experiments and investigated trigger warnings to reveal that helpful effects yields were just too small and lacked practical significance. That's by Sanson et al. 2019. However, suppose I think of a time when trigger warnings might be helpful. In that case, some audiences might not want to be trauma dumped, where traumatic stories are needlessly inserted into the content, or the audience might not want to see extraordinarily graphic or gory subject material, especially related to suicidal ideations or death on a channel meant for entertainment. For example, Logan Paul finding a dead body suspected of suicide in the Japanese suicide forests and showing his audience. The result of this led to the audience responding in a way that forced him to remove his video, lose $3.5 million licensing agreement, become demonetized on YouTube, be removed from the Google Preferred Advertising Partnership, delay his film, be liable for attorney fees, and owe millions in additional lawsuit-related damages. That's by NBC through Madani 2021. That's a lot of damage. So I think this goes to show that some content exists that should never be posted, even with trigger warnings, or without trigger warnings. Some content, just don't post it. It's just too much for society to want to see. Learn the lesson from Logan Paul that cost him millions of dollars to make sure you do not have to go through the same penalty he had to suffer under. Make sure you go viral in a socially accepted way that understands predictable emotional patterns with respect to past similar situations. Good luck, everybody.